I'm sorry, what? What part didn't you understand? The buh or the bye? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is bye week in the TFL. Week 4. Got a lot of good matches to go over with. We have some great results from last week. We have the recap to look over. And we also have our locks to go over. Let's go ahead and let's just start the show right off. Once again, this is David Rome. And with me, as always, I've got Dan Tirico. Dan, how are we doing this evening?
Well, ready to roll, my friend.
Right, well, let's get right down to this. Right off the bat, I want to invite everybody to play a game with us. You know, we have our logo. We're calling ourselves the David Rome Dan Tirico Show, but it doesn't have the right. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't roll right. We want a show name. And what we want is everyone out there to help us name our show for the TFL show. We're going to break these up into 2 shows now with the TFL and TCAA. So we're looking for 2 names. The winner, we're still trying to figure out a prize. Come up with different gift card ideas. What were some of the prizes we were thinking of, Dan? Money? I don't think so.
No, I mean, gift cards. What else were we looking at? That's the only one that I really remember us talking about.
I know we were talking about iTunes gift card, maybe Google, maybe Google Plus, maybe Google Play, huh? You Android freaks out there. I don't know, maybe we'll think about the prize as we go along. But we're definitely wanting to see if we can get some participation here with the naming our show for both, like I said, the TFL and the TCAA. If it's good enough to be the name for both, double the prize.
Also, maybe no fees for the league.
There's no fees for the league, right?
Yeah.
That we may have to go over that with the commish, but I like it.
We'll handle the commish.
Yeah, we'll set him straight. Anyway, let's get right down right into the TFL. We're gonna go over right off the bat our recap locks of the week 3. And how did you fare past week, Dan?
My locks are they're kind of. I think you do better to go against my locks. As far as TFL, I am 1-3 in TFL. I believe you, my friend, have a much better record.
Yeah, we won't get into that yet. Let's hear about how yours went.
I had Every Day I'm Wrestling versus Bromie's Homies. I got that one right. Bromie, what happened?
Yeah, I suck, and I went up against Will. So when you put those 2 together, it's very dangerous. It's a recipe for a disaster. The team just didn't show up, and you hand it to Will. His team showed up, handled business, took care of it. I mean, that's why he's in the division he's in, and I'm in the division I'm in. So there's nothing really more I can say about that except that that's my bad.
Well, I liked your, I'm not going to pronounce his name right, but for Peterson, the Asiata, I saw you picked him up. Dez seemed like he had a pretty good game. Fitzgerald, I have him in another league or 2. He's just been a disappointment this year. He's not done well. Also Every Day I'm Wrestling, 15 points from your kicker. I mean, come on. A lot of it was luck. He, wasn't expecting that. My other pick, I had Old School versus Wildcats. I went with Old School. Wildcats 139.67 versus 102.73 for Old School. LaShawn McCoy, Cobb, I mean, they just way underperformed. Brady and Cam were pretty much neck and neck. You look at Wildcats, Giovanni Bernard and Kelvin Benjamin, both just had monster games. Foles went off, versus the Skins, but personally, I would still pick Brady versus the Raiders on that one. So I mean, it happens. Yeah.
That was definitely a what's going on in England, and it is the Raiders, as Chris Berman would say, but I'm gonna say it. Yeah, I agree. It was definitely a shocker. I mean, first LaShawn McCoy only getting a 1.2. Really?
Yeah, it was.
How many points were scored in the game? That's what makes no sense. When I realized that's how many LaShawn McCoy scored, I was like, oh god, that's not right at all. Alrighty, and let's take a look here with the my picks. We had I had Havoc Hawks outkicked my coverage, and sure enough, Havoc Hawks won. It was a good pick by me, I have to say. I'm doing pretty damn good in the TFL when it comes to my picks. Havoc Hawks was able to keep me undefeated with my picks. You have Andrew Luck, 38 points. DeMarco Murray actually showed up and had a game. Rookie Kelvin Benjamin is a stud among studs right now. He's looking right now to be one of the top rookies drafted out of this. Sure, you have the quarterbacks, and they get all the glitz and the glam, but Kelvin Benjamin, he's definitely putting his name on the list.
Yeah, Luck, man, Luck. He really had a monster game too. Luck put a lot of people over the top this week, I think. Who was your other picks?
The other pick I had going in here, we had I had sibling rivalry. I remember, that's right. I went ahead and I picked the Terrible Towels to defeat the North Flying Bombers, and true to form, they took care of it for me. They went ahead, and now I'm 4-0 in the TFL. You can't get a better record than that, first off. But Terrible Towels scored 177 points. What did you start? 12 people? 8 of them had double-digit points. Andrew Luck, Levon Bell, Marshawn Lynch, Dez Bryant, Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett. The kicker even, 15 points. I mean, when the other team, Northeast Flying Bombers, scored 148, you could think that'd be a win, but it wasn't. That is what's crazy.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it up. You'll have that on a big job from time to time.
Yeah.
Do you want to review our week 3 games real quick?
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's do a quick review of our picks of week 3. Let's go ahead and with the Terrible Towels and Northeast Flying Bombers, as we were just talking about them. Once again, that was a sibling rivalry game, Joe versus JP. Northeast Flying Bombers are the defending TFL Super Bowl champions, and they are not doing a good job with the defending. I believe that loss has now dropped them to 1-2, if I recall correctly. So that is not good for them at all. You got the Terrible Towels victorious. They completely destroyed them. I really don't know what there is. I don't know if I'm looking at it right now, and it's on record that the Terrible Towels are now the proud record holder of the first highest weekly point total in league history. They're the first highest, with 177. I don't know if anyone's going to top that.
Was that a record for them? Or you're saying that was a record?
It's a record of the first highest weekly point total in league history. I'd have to, I guess, look up the definition here. Can we get Liam in on that? Liam. Well, our statistician will get to us eventually on that. Actually, no. Let's look at it right now. I'm looking at it, and no, it looks like he's number 2. You're still number 1, dispensing the pain with 183 in week 1. So it's a little misleading, that article that I was reading, thinking that he's number 1, but technically he is number 2.
Yeah. I was going to say we have to get our fact checkers on that.
I can see why you brought that up. That
Well,
struck a nerve. It sounded like.
No. I don't have much to brag about. So when I do, I got a little bit to toot my own horn. Which that won't happen again. That was a once in the league, once in a year score. But Terrible Towels, man, Luck again. Luck had a monster game. He had 38.3 points versus the Jags. He had Lynch, 26 points, with him. I think his running backs were better. The Flying Bombers, his wide receivers were better, but it wasn't enough. They were about equal. Delaney Walker had a good game, but not as good as Martellus Bennett. Towels, I think he had a game for a season, but I think it will be hard for him to repeat that.
Yeah, well, he'll get his win of the season with that victory. And one way to come out of the zero hole, just throwing a monster number on top of your brother like that, it's got to hurt pride a little for JP, because once again, he is the defending Super Bowl champion, and he is having one hell of a. It's just not a good season at the moment.
Our other review, we had Pill Pushers and Loose Ends.
It was Pill Pushers and Loose Ends.
And we both picked Pill Pushers, I think. And Loose Winnings squeaked by. He won by 16.48 points. Both of them, both of them are 2-1 now. We got Pill Pushers leading the AFC South. And we have Loose Ends, which I did not foresee, leading the AFC East. I did not see that coming.
Not at all.
I think the big difference with those two, Nick Foles, man, he had 20 more points than Aaron Rodgers did. I think that everything else was fairly similar, but that put him over the top. Vanilla Ice, man, he come back and he put him up.
You look at scores, and you look at Darren Sproles with only 7.2 points. So let's think about this for a second. There was so many points put up by Philadelphia that the running backs in fantasy only put up 8.4 points combined. Darren Sproles and LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yikes.
But I think. Yeah, whether or not this would have been a big deal or not, it looks like Pill Pushers starting Locker. Monte's Perfect was actually a scratch. I don't know if it was right before game time, so that may have affected him not being able to get in there real quick to switch out a linebacker. But linebackers aren't notorious for scoring double-digit points, so it may not have affected. That may not have been too much of. I just realized he's got tight end for Philadelphia as well. Who the hell scored all the points then for Philadelphia if the tight end only put up 2.40 points? What the heck is that all about? Macklin, that's right.
Yeah, Macklin.
And who had Macklin? Who has Macklin?
Macklin and Foles.
Macklin and Foles. Well, there you are then. I guess really you don't need a running back. You just need to get their wide receivers in that Chip Kelly offense.
Again, a lot of that comes to the matchups too. So we'll see if that trend continues. So like you mentioned earlier, week 4 coming up. We've got some bye weeks. We got some pretty big games ahead of us. Some nice division games. Do you have a particular one you want to start with?
Let's see. Week 4. Let's go ahead and let's take off the Dan Tirico hat for a second, and let's bring in Dan Kincaid so we can have a little chat. Let's discuss this division matchup, Dispensing the Pain, Rampant Lions.
All right, well, I'm going to break it down.
Bruiser of matchup. You're going to break it down for us?
I'm going to break it down for you. All right, last time these two teams met, we had 183.26 to 103.82. Dispensing the Pain just ran away with it. Week 1, week 2, from week 1 to week 2, I went down to right at 111, and then week 3 scored at around 118. Rampant Lions, they were around 104 the first week. Then they were up in the 149, 145 for week 2 and 3. So they really bumped their game up. Look, if we break down the averages, Rampant Lions, I'm going to give it to them. Week 4 is a big hurt for me as far as buys. I've got Lynch, I've got Welker, I've got Julius Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Ogletree, Wagner, He's on my bench, but Monty Ball, I've got a lot of buys. This is where coming in strong as far as good depth will help a team. On Rampant line side though, his Giovanni Bernard, he's got Carlos Dunlap. That's the only two big buys that he has. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to have to do something as far as defensive end and linebacker. I've already got some stuff in the works with that. I like Ryan into Vikings. Vikings are 18th in pass. I think that's a fairly decent matchup for him. Hakeem Nicks is starting to get more involved with the Colts. Week 1 he only had 36 yards. He went -4 on 2, but on week 3 he had 50 yards. A lot of it's he had 2 touchdowns through 3 games, and Ty Hilton, whatever you want to say. If he's out, that's going to pick up Hakeem Nicks as far as the throws and things he's going to get. But again, they're going against Tennessee Titans. I mean, they're number 2 as far as a receiving defense. So, I may get some help from him. I may not. I have Forte going against Green Bay. Green Bay is 30th in a run defense. I think Forte is going to have a good week, put up some points. As far as Rampant lines, he's got Breeze against the Cowboys. Cowboys are 21st in pass defense. He's got Cruz going against the Redskins. They're 10th in pass. And then we've got Bennett versus the Packers. Now Green Bay's kind of they're sloppy on the run, but they're 6th in a pass defense. So I don't think he's going to get a lot of points from Bennett. Cruz, I don't think he's going to do too hot. Breeze, Breeze will do the Cowboys aren't that great, but again, Breeze on the road. So I don't think a lot of, he's got more players going. He doesn't have the Hurts and buys, but I think that, his matchups aren't quite as good. So it's going to be close. If I do some soul searching and deep down, I think Rampant lines, I think they're going to squeak out a win, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us, squeak one by on him.
This is a TSPN technical problem, but please listen to the off-air comments that were made while we had this break.
No comment.
No comment.
Sorry, different league.
Yeah. Guess he lost
But
connection.
it was very good. I mean, I really liked the schematics, and I really liked the breakdown, though. It was very impressive.
I try.
That took a lot of time to do all that research, so...
Oh man, I've done this for about all the for quite a few games for TFL and for TCA. So.
But I want to know what do you say about Victor Cruz again? I'm still undecided.
Well, Cruz he's going against the Redskins. Redskins right now, they are ranked number 10 when it comes to pass defense. Skins, I didn't see it coming, but Skins are coming on pretty strong right now. Eli Manning, I'm a Giants fan, but yeah, well, I mean, I know Cruz, he had a good game last week, but they got, if Eli has time to pass, if he's not laying on his back, he's good at completing throws, and he can make them. But whenever, when he's running for his life or laying on his back, I mean, he's going to throw interceptions all day long. I think the Skins are going to put some pass, a lot of pass rushes, and I think they're going to hurry him. So, if I had Cruz, if I had better options, I would start.
Well, do you have better options, or are you going to start Cruz?
Well, that's Rampant Lines actually has Cruz, so I'm hoping he does not have better options. Seeing as how I'm the one playing against him.
We now return you back to our regular scheduled programming.
Okay, when you go to break down Dispensing the Pain versus the Rampant Lions here, you've definitely got a very strong division rivalry here. Let's look at Dispensing the Pain. We're hoping you got Matt Ryan. He's a hot and cold kind of guy. He's got 75 points right now, so that's a good start. But the buys are probably where this is really gonna possibly hurt Dispensing the Pain. You're looking at Marshawn Lynch is out, Cody Latimer, Wes Welker, Julius Thomas. Julius Thomas is probably going to be really the big hurt right there when it comes to it. I would actually go possibly Rampant Lions on this one, just based off of what I could see. It's not going to be a waiver wire type of pickups here, but Dispensing the Pains looks like they may be hurting a lot more when it comes to the buys than the Rampant Lions here. You got Drew Brees starting. He's going up against the Dallas defense. That's got to be at least 30 points in my book, right?
Well, but it's on the road too, though. So.
But it's like in a dome, so it's the same thing. Then you got, let's see.
Yeah, St. Louis did. St. Louis put up 30-some points on them, so yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, so the way I look at it right now, I would definitely be leaning towards the Rampant Lions on this one to get themselves back in here.
I agree. I think it's going to be close, but I do give Lions the edge on this one.
Look at you. Let's see, the other team we were looking at, we're going to go to NFC here, and I was looking at us with the Kings versus the Big South Bandits. What kind of breakdown you got on us for that one?
Can your computer handle it?
Let's hope so.
All right, I'll try not to go too fast here. All right, we've got a rematch of Week 1. We have Big South Bandit versus the Kings. The Kings won in the first match. Big South Bandits. All right, let's break it down in Week 1, 2, and 3. They scored 134, basically 104, and 106, so fairly consistent. Kings, Week 1, 2, and 3, 135, down to around 98. And then last week, 66. So they've just kind of been on a downhill snowball. Week 4, looking at buys, Big South Bandits, we have Andy Dalton, Terrence West. You know, those are pretty big hurts. On the other side, with Kings, we've got A.J. Green. But other than that, I think he has very good depth all around. Now, we're looking at, flip back to the other side, Big South Bandits. Flacco, as far as his year-to-date points, he's only 3 less from Dalton. So, he's really, Andy Dalton's out, but I think Flacco, he'll do fine. Like I said, one of our broadcasts, I think he's kind of a blue-collar quarterback. It's not pretty, but he gets the job done. Comparing both teams, as far as quarterbacks go, Carolina is number 8 versus the pass, so that is not good for Flacco. Look on the other side, we got Jets is number 9 versus they're number 9 in the pass defense. It's not good for Stafford. Oakland is actually number 4 as far as a pass defense. That's not good for Tannehill. As far as those 3 quarterbacks comparing, Stafford at least has the weapons to get things through, but no good quarterback matchups all around. Take a look at running back.
No, Tannehill is going to be starting this week.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll see how that goes. We got Lions. They're number 2 versus the run. I mean, that's not good for Chris Johnson. I'm gonna keep going with Big South Bandits here. Now he has Antonio Brown versus the Bucks. Bucks are 25th with the receiving defense. That's probably the best matchup on his team, but I don't know if that's enough to carry him or not. Kings, Jets are number 1 versus the run defense, so that's bad news for Bell. Eagles are 13 versus the run. That's okay for Hyde. Where I think it gets interesting, though, is I think Eddie Lacy, I think he's going to bounce back. I think this is going to be his big game. He's up against the number 26th rush defense with Green Bay. Anyways, I think he's going to have a big game. Up to this point, both teams are fairly similar. Looking at as far as tight ends go, Daniels versus Baltimore. I think that's probably the best matchup because Allen's going against the Titans. That's not good. Ertz versus the 49ers. They're number 9 as far as receiving defense. That's not good. So I definitely go with Daniels versus Baltimore with that matchup. On the other side for Kings, Gronk versus the Chiefs. Chiefs are number 9 as far as a or receiving defense, and then his other one, Davis versus the Eagles, and they're pretty crappy right now as far as the receiving defense. But I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be a good matchup. But I'm going to give. I think the slight edge is. I think it's going to go to the Kings with this one.
Kings, the Kings, the Kings. All hail the Kings, because I'm going along with you on this one. You take a look at it. You got Matthew Stafford. I think he's him against Flacco, I would definitely take Stafford in that one. You just really look at what the Kings have to offer compared to the Big South Bandits, and you got Brandon Marshall. Will he be able to play? It's he's constantly thinking, doesn't know if he's going to be hurt or not hurt. He was able to pull through last week for some points, but they're projecting him at 17 points. I can't see that. Just don't see it at all. But with the Kings, you got Michael Wallace, Alan Hearns.
4. That's about it.
Come back in?
He's either going to get 0 or 34.
Exactly. So you're looking at it, you got Stafford, Bell, Lacey, you got rookie sensation Alan Hearns, Mike Wallace, Gronk, Dan Carpenter can throw you in double-digit kicks all the time when he's playing for Buffalo. So I would definitely go Kings on this one.
Yeah, I think Lacey. You wait and watch. I think he'll have a field day against the Bears. I think he'll have a good game. Alrighty, so that's our week 4 matchups. You got your locks made for week 4?
I've got my locks. Do you have your locks?
I have my locks. I'll let you start this round off.
Well, before I start, any of our current listeners, you guys have any locks for the TFL week 4? Anybody want to make any suggestions, any guesses? Will?
No, actually, I don't have anything for you right now. I've just been concentrating on my TCAA matchup this week.
Well, we'll get
Hello?
We'll get to you later. Who else we got on the line?
We've got Sriracha here.
Oh, we got Sriracha Chickens. Sriracha Chickens, what do you got to say, my man?
Well, lock number 1 is me against Josh Cloyd, the Pill Pushers.
All right, and why is that?
Well, we just need to have that on the record. Projected points, approximately 20-point advantage. Romo has played like crap all year. I'm in bad shape having to start him, but he's bound to blow up for 25, 30 points at some point.
I'm in bad shape to start him, but
he does.
That was awesome. That was
Can
awesome.
he really play this bad for 4 weeks? Probably, but
No, he can play that bad
Cowboy
for 7
fan,
weeks and
so
he'll still start.
I would love it if Romo could beat him.
Oh, this is awesome. That's kind of a shame because I'm 4-0 in my locks of the week, and
Yeah.
I've got the Pill Pushers beating you.
Oh,
So that's
you're
you're looking
4-1. 4-1 is coming, buddy.
Hey.
I don't.
He's due to be wrong sometime.
Yeah.
I'm about as due to be wrong as Romo is to due to be a good quarterback.
Well, I've got Jimmy Graham. Bring it.
Romo, if you're listening, feel free to tweet us. Tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, I used to love to root against Romo. I think I still kind of do. But if the Cowboys are doing poor, they're still passing the ball because they're behind, like usual.
Well, they have a horrible defense, so they're always behind.
Yeah. So
Murray has carried
the
that team.
opportunity exists for Romo to put up garbage points.
Well, yeah, garbage points where he gets like his 5 and his 4, all that other good stuff. I mean, do you see what quarterback you're going up against?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
He's not looked that great either, though.
he has not.
Oh, he's been sketchy.
He's failed to throw for 200 yards in 2 out of 3 games thus far.
And if anyone's going to break out in week 4,
It's probably him.
It's
I
Aaron
own
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers in, I think, 3 or 4 Yahoo leagues and an ESPN league. So, yeah, I realize I am at a disadvantage at the quarterback spot, and Adrian Peterson's child discipline scandal has left me behind at running back. But nonetheless, I
like
need
your,
revenge. He beat me by 3.5 or so points week 1. Barely more than the home field advantage he got spotted to start.
Jimmy Graham's going to put up 35 points for you. You wait and watch. Now, Romo, Romo might go negative.
Romo,
That's huge.
Yeah, I think Graham will have a big game.
yeah, man, lightning's bound to strike, at some point. I mean, but Romo versus Geno Smith or Eli Manning, that's not much of a decision.
Well, I'll tell you what. Eli had a good week. That division always plays each other strong. I don't care if you have one of them is going 6-0 and the other one is 0-6. When that division plays each other, they play each other hard.
But you're right.
You know, I mean, now Manning is, you know, Eli. He's hit or miss. You know, when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw up big numbers if you're wanting to take a chance.
This is true. I mean, you know, he's playing tomorrow night, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
He usually does better on Thursdays than he does Monday night games.
You know, that may be an option.
Let me throw up a disclaimer, though. If you do swap it out and he sucks it up, I'm in no way responsible for your team loss.
I would not hold you liable, sir. This is no, this is strictly off the record here. Friendly advice here, you know.
I'm not a real broadcaster. I just play one on TV.
What other locks you got there, Dan?
Well, you know, I hate to do this, but Bromy, you're going 0-4.
I don't blame you there.
I'm going Big Orange Army on this one. I think he's, you know, Manning's out, but he has Cutler. I think Cutler's going to have a good game. You got some Week 4 hurts. You got, you know, some pretty big hurts going up this week. And man, I hate to say it, but I think you're going 0-4.
I'm not going to disagree on that one at all because I think even if I were to play the team right, I'm sure I would leave someone on the bench like I normally do. I mean, on week 1, I lost to Brian by like 1 point, I think it was, and that's all I've done, except for when I faced Will, where he just demolished me. It didn't matter who I started. Everybody else I've always lost by like 1 point. So I'm going to go ahead and say I would also lose. Let's go with 2 points this time. I'll lose by, but I'm not going to lock that one. My lock actually is going to be the Northeast Flying Bombers over the El Palco Loco in the NFC because, one, it seems like a lock of all locks because I don't know what the heck's going on with El Palco Loco. It's one hell of a horrible – it's definitely not Sriracha chicken, I'll tell you that right now. It's a whole different chicken down there. So I'm definitely going with my other lock, Northeast Flying Bombers. You got Big Ben in there. You got Matt Forte, definitely tearing it up for Chicago. So I mean, you look over at the Locos. They got Russell Wilson. He's not playing. So Arian Foster, will he be playing this week? Who knows? So it doesn't look good on the other side of the roster at all. So Northeast Flying Bombers is definitely my other lock of the week.
I like the Antonio Gates matchup. You know, we got him going against they're playing the Jags. I mean, I don't think it's going to be enough to carry the team, but I think he'll put up good numbers.
And what other lock did you have?
I've got I'm looking at loose ends versus outkicked my coverage. Loose ends is really hurting as far as the running back with the bye week. Then we got Foles versus the 49ers. I think Philly. I think they're going to run a lot. I don't think there's going to be a lot of passing against that team. Outkick my coverage. They've really surprised me this year, but I think they're pretty good in depth and pretty consistent with their numbers. And I'm going with outkick my coverage.
Let's see. Well, you got Tom Brady against Nick Foles. I mean, Nick Foles has definitely not been your vanilla ice type of quarterback so far this season. He's been able to. Well, there's always time. You look at it, he's got Brandon Marshall. Who knows whether or not he'll play right or not? But you got Steve Smith. Yeah. And if I recall, they're going against Carolina this week, right? Baltimore. Is that this week, right?
It is. Yes, Ravens and Panthers.
So, big game by Steve Smith, in my opinion.
Yeah, he'll come out pissed off and play well.
Yeah. He may even take a swing at somebody.
That might be another reason we mentioned on that last game we was talking about with Big South and Kings, though. We were talking with Flacco. So that's that. You know, I think Flacco will have a good game. I think Smith will too.
But I would go loose ends on this one. Just based off the quarterbacks alone, Brady has definitely not looked like Brady. He's almost looking like a Derek Jeter-ish kind of thing going on. It's almost time for him to get out.
Outkick my coverage. You need to replace your kicker.
That's outkicking his coverage, all right.
So wait, no. That's Matt Bryan. I thought I saw Matt Prater. I need my glasses.
Yes, you do. You need your glasses.
Yeah, I'm getting old. He's fine. Alrighty.
That's going to do it for us here in the TFL portion of our episode. I just want to remind everybody in the TFL that there is a current league poll that is going on for everyone to vote in. It hasn't been too high of a vote yet, total turnout yet, but people take their time. It's fine. Go ahead. We're just trying to gauge if anyone would like to join in on these sessions, and we're thinking of possibly actually doing a show on location where we'll focus on the game of the week and who's hosting it, and trying to get an interview with that owner or president, however way we do it. So get that vote in. Don't forget, Name That Show contest is going to be going on pretty soon. Name the shows. You get some sort of gift card. But other than that, this is I want to thank some of our guests here that we've had today. So with our TFL talks, and for Dan Tirico, this is David Rome, and we'll see you next time on the next TFL episode.
This episode of the TFL has been brought to you by...
Drinking an energy drink.
Choice of Muppets everywhere.
No alcohol. No alcohol.